Only two Indians out of 1.2 billion have made it to the pinnacle of motorsport Formula One. And it's a privilege to have him with us here today at Man's Life, Karun Chandhok. Karun Chandhok, welcome back to Man's Life. Great to have you here. So Karun, you spoke about how there's not really a truckload of drivers coming through the Indian motorsport system. What is the Indian racing scenario like for you from ground zero up to the pinnacle?
It's a difficult question to answer. I think we probably had a peak around between 2008 and 2012. At that stage we had Naren and myself in F1. We had the Indian Grand Prix. You had Force India. There was a lot of momentum around the sport. But since then, the buzz seems to have died down. We haven't had a driver in F1 now for nearly a decade. We haven't had a team in F1, in terms of Force India for a while now. You haven't had the Grand Prix since 2013. And the buzz has sort of gone a little bit. Nowadays, when you talk to the public or the fans or the Indian media, for example, it's a harder sell, motorsport in general. And therefore, it becomes a harder opportunity for drivers to go and get the sponsorship they need to carry part. So you go into the cycle, this sort of loop we're in. So it's a cycle that we need to break somehow. And, I believe that there's two or three things that can be a catalyst. One is if you get a driver back from India in F1. Two is if the car manufacturers and bike manufacturers in India invest into programs that promote young talent and bring them through the ladder and take them outside of India as well, so they can race internationally. I think there's a few things that will have to happen for this catalyst of change to really move the pendulum for where it is now.
Yeah, so in that sense, what are your tips, you would say, for aspiring racing drivers today that have to understand the reality of what motorsport is, but still have that dream of moving forward in motorsport?
I think the first thing I always tell people is be realistic. You have to fully understand what is involved in this process of getting up the ladder. I often think that people don't fully appreciate and understand the financial side of things and how difficult and expensive that is. I think sometimes they also underestimate the competition. The level of competition up in Europe or in North America is higher, So, and I think sometimes they get a wake up call then when they go and do that. And so I think, the biggest tip I can always offer people is to build up a knowledge in their own mind of what is involved in the ladder up the sport, both inside the car and outside the car, because they're both equally important.
And Karun, apart from the speed element that every racing driver should possess, whether it's natural, whether it's built over time, what other attributes do you think one needs to become a top racing driver?
I think it's the same as in any other sport. You have to have a total and 100% commitment to the cause. You have to spend every day thinking about how to make your performance better. It is a 24/7 job. There is no holiday. There is no time off. There's no, I'm going to have a couple of days off and go and do this. It's a full commitment to the cause. Every meal that you eat, every day that you travel or train, they all add up into this whole life that you're trying to build. So if you spoke to Roger Federer, if you spoke to Sachin Tendulkar, if you spoke to any top level sportsman, they'll tell you the same. It is a 24/7 dedication.
Thanks so much, Karun, for joining us on Man's Life. But for more great content, head across to manslife.in for everything from the world of sport, auto, lifestyle, and entertainment.